I ran out of money and moved back home with my parents and was working the drive-thru. I moved back to LA in October of 2020 and I said, I'm gonna give it one more year. I'm gonna give it one shot. If I don't like it by October 2021, I'll move back. But let me just try to give it a shot.
Welcome to this video. Today I am excited to finally make a video talking about Chappell Roan. Most of you may know her as your favorite artist.
I'm Chappell Roan and I'm your favorite artist's favorite artist.
I'm sure many of you have heard her music or her name lately, whether it be through her so-called controversies or any of her catchy hits. We have to acknowledge the fact that she had a huge year in 2024. Due to the sudden rise of her success, some people have questioned if she's an industry plant or if she's really deserving of the Grammy for Best New Artist. I'm here to tell you all the story behind her rise to fame and how it actually goes further back than most of us know. So let's get into Chappell's story. First, I want to say Chappell is so talented, and honestly, she is one of the few artists right now that I genuinely enjoy listening to. In my opinion, she just brings back the fun and expressive pop energy through her brand and her music. And anytime I hear her music, it just puts me in a good mood. I also feel like she's bringing back singing, and I mean enunciating and vocals that we don't hear as often anymore. Ever since the popularization of whisper singing or cursive singing, a lot of artists have had the same style of singing that I feel sometimes doesn't show the artist's full potential. So don't get me wrong, I love a good ballad or a pop song with those types of vocals too, but something about Chappell's style really sticks out to me. Comment down below if you guys like Chappell and her music. Let me know what you think. So let's rewind back to 2014. A young girl from Missouri by the name of Kaylee Rose started a YouTube channel uploading covers of popular songs from artists like Kesha, Rihanna, and many more. It wasn't long before her talent was recognized by the public, and she was even acknowledged in 2014 by Troye Sivan. He tweets a little shout out along with a link to her video, and before Troye was mainstream, he was a very popular YouTuber and vlogger with a huge platform. So this moment gave a lot more exposure to this young artist that he was referring to. Also, look at this throwback picture with them from 2014. We have Troye Sivan, Chappell, Connor Franta. This picture just screams 2014 or early 2010s Tumblr era. In 2015, 17-year-old Kaylee Rose signed a deal with a major record label, Atlantic Records. Atlantic had signed huge artists before like Bruno Mars, Cher, Kelly Clarkson, and many more on the list. From this moment is when Kaylee Rose became her stage name, Chappell Roan. Chappell has explained before that her stage name pays homage to her grandfather, whose last name was Chappell, and his favorite country song, The Strawberry Roan. Chappell Roan is considered her drag queen name as well because she brands herself as a representation for the LGBTQ community, also openly being lesbian herself. This is when things started getting a little bit more complicated for Chappell. She had to miss her senior year of high school to focus on her music, and it is something that she has admitted to missing. She told Vanity Fair about her feelings and how she didn't miss high school, but she missed her youth. But I miss my youth. I mourn being a kid because my career took that away from me pretty immediately when I signed. In 2017, under Atlantic Records, Chappell's EP School Nights was released. There were only 5 songs in this EP, but it was enough for her to book some opening gigs with other artists. In 2020, the hit song that we now know as Pink Pony Club was released. It's crazy to think that this song is 5 years old and it's now blowing up, and I feel like it really represents her brand and what she stands for. It sort of became a gay anthem, something for people to dance and vibe to, and it's very catchy. So during the pandemic, Pink Pony Club didn't do so well. It didn't do well enough for Chappell to keep her relationship with Atlantic Records. Unfortunately, they decided to drop her after the release of her single for her debut album that she was actually working on. This took a toll on Chappell's career because she had to move back home to Missouri during the pandemic and pick up a coffee shop job.
My relationship ended with my label like a lot of artists ended their relationships in 2020. You just get dropped if you're not making money in 2020. Like, music industry crashed. It was touring is how artists make their money, and it was 2020. I wasn't touring, and Pink Pony came out in April of 2020, the worst time for a club song to come out. To be honest, the label didn't even want to put it out, so it was already a very tense relationship. I got dropped because I just wasn't making money for them. Neither were most artists, unless you are massive. So many artists lost their jobs.
During her time at home, she was still focusing on her music and creating her first album. She tells Vanity Fair that she managed to get some songs done, but Missouri wasn't the place for her to be creative since she was depressed. It felt like I needed to get out of Missouri to finish the rest of the songs that needed to be written. I couldn't write pop songs when I was depressed on a farm. I just needed to get out of there. I was working the drive-thru and I would just think of little song melodies and write on my notes app. And that's kind of how I kept the flame going. It didn't really explode until I moved back to LA and got a job. She ends up moving back to LA the next year and working side jobs while focusing on her music. It wasn't until 2022 that she decided to go independent, and that might have been the best move for her career. She released huge hits that we now know as Naked in Manhattan and Kink is Karma, all of which are getting much more attention now that her fan base is growing. She also got to open up for Olivia Rodrigo's Sour Tour, and the two are actually pretty close friends. And she ended up opening up for Olivia again, and she has worked on so many songs for her Guts album. So things were picking up for Chappell, but she still felt like she needed to develop a team behind her for her debut album. She felt like it was too much of a huge project to take on by herself, so she decided to sign with another record label again in January 2023. So here comes September 2023, the release of her debut album that we now know as The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. This album began putting Chappell on the map as a rising mainstream artist. After a decade of working on music and covers, she finally began gaining more recognition. Now, in 2024, she released her hit single, Good Luck Babe, so this was kind of her say-so and espresso moment, whatever you want to call it, the song that gets the artist noticed everywhere and played on every single station. So this song became a summer hit, and Chappell was finally known everywhere by everyone. She got to perform at the VMAs, and she also won one. She also performed at Lollapalooza festival where she gained many more fans. As Chappell became more known and loved by the public, this came with a lot more unwanted attention. I made a video a couple months ago about parasocial relationships and how celebrities don't owe fans anything, with Chappell as the central topic. She had gone off on social media telling people that it was inappropriate for them to stalk her and to cross her boundaries when she constantly put her foot down to say no. So she experienced a whole lot of verbal and even physical harassment during the height of her fame. Well, she's still famous right now, but you know what I mean. So this is the part where she becomes controversial to people because people did not like the way that she responded. Many people call her an entitled, rude, and ungrateful diva. Some others saying that she's been famous for 5 minutes and that she complains too much about everything. And then there are red carpet paparazzi videos where she's demanding respect from one of the photographers who was disrespecting her. So there were just a lot of moments that made some people question how genuine she really was. Now, we're in 2025 and Chappell just debuted her first country single named The Giver, which she actually performed in SNL with a snippet last November. She had said so herself that she can't name herself the Midwest Princess and not pay homage to the country artists that she grew up listening to. So learning a bit more about her journey in the industry now makes sense as to why she's such a huge advocate for developing artists to get the support from their labels. Considering she had a rocky relationship with Atlantic Records and they dropped her during the pandemic, she really proved to herself and the industry that she can make it on her own. During her Grammy acceptance speech, she spoke up about her struggles after being dropped and not getting the support that she needed from the label who was supposed to have her back. So that there is the reason why many people love and resonate with Chappell. You can see the reactions of many artists in the audience, including Doechii and Ray, who have experienced coming from nothing and also losing their jobs while trying to pursue their music dreams. Chappell really has balls to stand up on stage and speak for what she believes in, especially in front of a room full of music moguls and gatekeepers. Now, we all know these greedy record labels don't like when their artists are outspoken and complicated. They prefer someone they can mold that can easily be controlled. That's why there's going to be so many people that will say that Chappell is controversial, she acts like a diva, she complains too much. In my honest opinion, she is bold for her speech, but she's right, and she's using her platform to speak about changes that she believes in due to her own experience of almost not making it big. She even got backlash for the speech because one music executive by the name of Jeff Rabin, excuse me if I said his last name wrong, called her out for being disingenuous and wildly misinformed because she was ranting about the industry she's profiting from. So she responds to Jeff by posting on her Instagram story a link to her nonprofit that she created for struggling and upcoming artists. She challenged Jeff to donate and match the $25,000 she and other artists donated. Chappell created a nonprofit on Backline and named the campaign We Got You, just like she mentioned in her Grammy speech. According to the website, the purpose of We Got You is to be a nonprofit that provides mental health and wellness resources to music industry professionals and their families. We envision a future where mental health support is affordable and accessible in every aspect of the industry. Sources have confirmed that some artists who are supporting this cause and have donated include Charlie XCX, Sabrina Carpenter, and Lauv. I really hope Chapell lasts in the industry because I do feel like she can be the new generation pop star that represents a change in the music industry system. Not to be cheesy or whatever, but Chapell can really be the difference for small, developing, and independent artists who are looking to make it big, but they may not want to be taken advantage of by a huge record label who's going to leave them in the dirt. She's one of the few artists who are outspoken about these problems and always uses her platform with the intention to make a difference. So I think we can say that Chapell got the last laugh with Atlantic Records. I'm really curious to see what they're thinking now of her success. From street performances to major stage performances, VMAs, Grammys, and more, it's amazing to see how far she has come. So that's all I have for today's video. Let me know what you all think down below. Are you a fan of Chappell Roan? Do you guys really think that she can make a difference and help other small artists in the industry? I would love to know your thoughts and opinions below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.